Мы продолжаем проходить игру «Внешние миры». В прошлой серии мы с вами выполнили задание «Родственные души». Сегодня начнем выполнять побочное задание «Напуганный инженер». Смотрим, куда нам нужно. У нас есть несколько мест, где показано, видимо, там лежат части нашего квеста. Так, мы здесь же с вами все лутали. Так, а вот эти вот они у нас весят, отнимают. Ну, с этим вот надо, копилками надо разбираться. Потому что куча всего, это вот как-то мне напоминает обилие подобного рода вещей в киберпанке. С одной стороны, жалко, конечно, но раз жалко, не будем продавать. Ну, мы здесь не лутали. Здесь было закрыто. Так. И вот одно мы сделали. Так, вниз.
Go away, Phantom! Get away!
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded.
Спасибо за совет.
For me.
Process
Here
secure.
we go! Look at those! Woohoo! We made it!
И куда он пропал?
Processing sweeping. More unauthorized. The area.
Get past that armor! Nice one!
Adjacent unit. Security patrol initiated.
Ты кого там лупишь? Жива? Ничего пока не будем тут включать. Можно было просто так прийти, да?
Go away, Phantom! You're not real. You're not real. Go away, Phantom! You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom. Shoot. Scram. You can talk? The Phantom's never talked before. Ugh, I knew I shouldn't have eaten that sprat raw. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting. Clearly, I mistook you for one of the phantoms of my imagination, which terrorized me on occasion. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder. Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant. I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons. You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead. Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you. The tail. Definitely jimmied open the vending machines. That lasted a good couple of months. Eventually, I had to resort to more unconventional means of filling my insides. Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. It was pandemonium. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes when the killing started. So, as usual, I missed out. I specialized in automechanicals, drones. Oh, before. Definitely before. Sisty Pig Tycoonery was the apex of my long and storied career. Mechanicals lost their bolts. You mean why did the mechanicals go on a murderous rampage? Same reason any of us do, I suppose. The voices told them to do it. I was on cleaning duty at the time.
Так, мы взяли еще одну часть книжечки. И у нас обновилось задание. Окей. Мы отсюда не можем, да, передвинуться. Еще раз проверим. Не можем. Так, ну мы и так, в принципе, всех поубивали. Так, активное задание вот сюда. Вы уже здесь?
Where are we headed?
Something on your mind? Go ahead. Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up. That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent. Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude, and it is one we will see through to the end. If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose. It is not easy for me, and the moment it becomes easy is the moment I am no longer fit to serve. Spacer's choice is a family, and the survival of the family is more important than the survival of the individual. Go ahead. That you are not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathed the people of Edgewater, you see. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their way past my flaws and return to town. Nature is uglier. There is safety here, safety and purpose. But not all of us see that, and I cannot force that vision upon them. Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague, but it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on. Losing Adelaide was the hardest. She was our only flavor specialist. When she walked away, I knew we were in trouble. Spacer's Choice Saltuna is renowned across the system for its quality flavors and additives. We used to sell citrus-flavored Saltuna in our heyday. Ever since Adelaide left, we have been reduced to selling unflavored and spearmint. Go ahead. Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a Saltuna canning institution. Saltuna without flavor is like a cysty pig without tumors, borderline inedible. Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack our larders with saltuna galore. No other brand of saltuna adds as much vim or vigor to the body's humors. But, and this is something we must keep between the two of us, saltuna is hard to come by. What? Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly local mushrooms. Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of saltuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect to any but the prissiest of palate.
Так, хорошо. Вкус свободы. Так, ну, по-видимому, нам на консервном заводе нужно полутать и попробовать найти томик. Как вот тут звучит? Давайте-ка читаем еще раз. Парвати обронила в разговоре, что ее отец коротал смены на консервном заводе за томиком «Все о машиностроении для юного косможителя». И где? Так, окей, мы нашли все. Ух ты. Давайте посмотрим. У нас какая-то бронька появилась, да? Она хорошая, но незаметность у нас становится хуже. А что если мы нашей Хорватии дадим? Ты как? Тебе нормально? Норм? Где ты там? На солдата братства стали похожи. Так, а мы отсюда можем двигаться? Видимо, нет. Я предлагаю сгонять на наш космолет. Туда должен был прийти Викарий. А где тут враги?
Here they come! Down they go! No messing.
This is gonna take a lot of paperwork.
The navigation console is offline at this time, Captain.
Так, запечатано. Какой-нибудь контейнер у нас здесь есть. Дальше не проходишь, да? Так, ну вот здесь я могу спать. Судя по всему. Ладно.
If I'd been able to get out here, I so would have stripped this for parts.
Так, ну что, возвращаемся в лабораторию.
Any luck finding one of those manuals? No kidding. Really? Well, which one? Look at that. Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special. Well, don't keep me in suspense. Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment. Well, don't keep me in suspense. The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals. That's a complete set. All 3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen. Aside from you, Ms. Parvati, I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit. What's on your mind?
Так, нам что-то дали. Сейчас посмотрим, изучим. Так, а здесь у нас мины, да? Не пойдем туда. Ну, вы знаете, вот поселение, конечно, поселение. Но в городе-то людей больше проживает. Так, а что он нам в итоге-то дал? Я так и не понял. Так, ну что ж. Так, а где у нас еще викарий-то? Мы должны были с ним встретиться на корабле, но его там не было. Давайте, может быть, вернемся в город и попробуем все-таки выяснить, кем нам нужно быть. Да, можно
Another day at the
как
cannery.
угодно смотреть,
No
но
knocking your work. At least we've got work.
Здесь вот целое поселение.
Sometimes I wonder what I'm
Его
doing.
оставлять без электричества из-за какого-то там вот завода, корпорации, которая себя плохо ведет. Ну, такое себе. Нет, просто посмотреть.
Hmm?
Ты еще здесь?
I'll meet you on the ship when you're ready to depart from Emerald Vale, Captain.
Так, ну хорошо.
Something got you down?
Miss Holcomb ain't allowed in this establishment. Not since that little incident. I realize that. Company still has not sent us the necessary parts to conduct repairs. And so, no thanks to Miss Holcomb, yonder vending machine remains inoperable.
I won't touch anything while we're in here, Mr. Moreau. I promise.
Music to my ears.
Так, ну вот это она слабенькая, мы ее продаем, наверное. Шоковое ружье 7-й уровень. Так, этот 3-й уровень продаем. 4-й уровень гранатомет. Продаем. Продаем. Прямую винтовку, ну, наверное, пока продаем. Так, шоковое орудие. 7-й уровень. Охотничью винтовку. Продаем. Так, и вот это стандартная пехотная броня. А я думаю, что тоже продаем. Теперь вот эти. Что они по 15 секунд действуют? Это же несерьезно. Так, есть у нас еще где-то личностные показатели? Так. 5. Но пока как-то так. А, вот что он нам подарил. Модификация брони. Гаджет модификация оглушает врагов, нападающих на вас в ближнем бою, и наносит им урон. У эффекта есть перезарядка. Вещь хорошая. Модификаторы, конечно, стоят, вернее, весят. Ладно, идем дальше. Ты уже дошла. Хорошо. Так. Сохраняемся. Отсюда мы можем, да, совершать быстрое путешествие. Еще раз давайте подумаем. Хорошо. Пока идем. Так, активируйте размыкатели тока.
3 switches. That'll be easy enough.
Ну, разберемся, конечно. Куда нам деваться?
Just 2 more. What'll happen to Miss McDevitt's folk if we send power to the Vale? Where are we headed? Let's go. If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to the Vale?
Вот и я про то же говорю. Просто так взять и отключить. Верно, это неправильно.
Blast. I'm not sure what the ride is. All I know is the decision's final. Yeah, huh?
Как где нам перепрограммировать этих?
Once we do this, there's no going back. Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. That sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way. Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful. Somehow, she's talked the ground into giving life again. It's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the sick. Gave a home to those that had none. But Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that kind of hatred? Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something. Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Так. Мы сохранились. Давайте еще раз подумаем. Как это сделаем? Как нам надо было, наверное, вот это вот таки выполнить, не знаю. Сложный выбор, да? Но я все-таки считаю, что город у нас больше. И из одного плохого дяденьки, а на самом деле он не такой уж и плохой, да, то есть он просто делает свою работу, нельзя жертвовать. Возможно, у нас получится вот этих вот товарищей перевести. Так, а где регулятор мощности? Ну вот, убедите, кто там. Убедите дезертиров вернуться. Хорошо. Регулятор мощности это у нас где? Нам туда все равно. Так, а мы с вами здесь-то обследовали? Так, ну эти вроде полутаны. Просто мы, по-моему, ночью бегали, да? То есть здесь было... очень темно. А то тут подлезть. Подлезть можно было. Не особо мы здесь лутались. Так, ну вроде бы все, да? Еще вот, возможно, можно на крышу залезть. Нельзя. Так, хорошо. У нас со всеми, в принципе, хорошая, уважительная, да? Поэтому, может быть, и не особо обидится на нас.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, Why did you do it? You killed my garden, destroyed my community, sentenced my flock to a lifetime of slavery in Edgewater for a power regulator. Well, shit, I wish it was personal. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients. Edgewater's cemetery's got corpses aplenty, enough for a generation's worth of crops. My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
Ну вот встало все на свои места. Так, мы можем вот это вскрыть? Давайте вскроем. Она же никто не обидится.
What do you think you're doing? Carry on.
Мы же это еще не открывали, не открывали. Ну сколько вот их здесь? Раз, два, три, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Всего 9 человек. Ну 10 с этой тетенькой. А в городе, ну, гораздо больше.
I know, I'm trying to think. I don't know what you did to talk some sense into Zoe, but I appreciate it. The matter's been weighing on me. Zoe came back, but I couldn't keep her from slipping out in the first place. Who's to say I could keep marauders from slipping in? I don't see us lasting more than a couple of weeks out here.
I'm loath to admit it. We're gonna have to make our peace with Thompson and hope he takes us back. Listen, we go back to Reed, hat in hand, begging for our old jobs back. Well, Adelaide's not gonna forgive us. She never talked to us again. Sure, suit yourself. I'll be here.
Так, и чего мы добились? Так, она хочет. Хорошо. И давай с тобой еще поговорим.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead. I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again. You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater and I'm as good as dead to her. You know where to find me.
Так, и к чему мы пришли? Так, ну двоих мы уже убедили, да? Судя по всему, есть возможность убедить Рида. То есть не убивать его, а убивать это возможность.
Keep your distance, friend. Sick house is no place for a traveler.
Да, ужасно.
Abernathy's chipper today. Guess he wasn't playing.
You think corporate's ever gonna visit? I'm not holding out.
Нам вот сюда, да? Ты-то что
I
скажешь?
think you did the rightest thing you could sending the power back to Edgewater. A lot of people would have suffered otherwise.
Ну хорошо, хорошо. Ты на моей стороне, отлично.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts? Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes, but I have done my best for this town. I am not without compassion for Abernathy's predicament, but the plague has taken a hard toll on us all. I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home. I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic. The very notion is just grotesque. A raw vegetable? Why don't you just ask me to go chew the bark off of a tree? We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat saltuna here, and only saltuna. I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food, but that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanist couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of him and shut down the greenhouse. You'll excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? And when you say special fertilizer, you mean what exactly? What a remarkably efficient solution. Recycling Spacer's Choice property long after its date of expiration. I was wondering about those missing bodies in Silas's cemetery. You're right. I am being obstinate. If the best thing I can do for this town is to stand down, then stand down I shall. If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them. No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement. I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week. I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend to crop. She's what this town needs. I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy.
Итак, я думаю, что мы выбрали не самую плохую ветку развития. Значит, сохранили город, и дезертиры тоже остаются, да, то есть они вернутся в город. И свой регулятор мы тоже добыли. Сообщим хорошую новость тетеньке.
Look at that. The snake's come back. I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward. You telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
What happened? Sprat fell into a transform. Marauders can't see us in the dark. Didn't think she'd go back so long as Reed was still running the place. Something must have changed. If Adelaide's going back to Edgewater, we'll fall.
Так, и
Keep your wits about you, friend.
I'm glad Adelaide's coming back to town with. What's on your mind?
так, и вот приходит сила, мы прошли. Нам нужно вернуться на корабль безнадежный. Я так понимаю, мы должны будем отремонтировать
Is
его.
this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet?
Мы уже
What's her
здесь
drive
были.
model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling. I've worked on the occasional supply coach in need of repairs. Once I built a little model craft out of spare parts, but Mr. Thompson found out and I had to take it apart. I want to ask you something, and you can say no, but can I come with you? I could tend to your engine, I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think? Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Edgewater was on the verge of collapse before you showed up. You sent them power, and now the town might see another season. And you talked Miss McDevitt into coming back to town. Maybe one day, Edgewater will have a garden where that cannery once stood. You ain't exactly a stranger anymore. You've done some kindness hereabouts. I wouldn't mind following somebody like that.
Ну что, берем.
Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Итак, мы на один шаг ближе. Я предлагаю на этом серии прекратить, завершать данную миссию и распределять очки мы будем уже в новой серии.